It began without much warning, a subtle shift in the air, a low growl in the distance. But within hours, what started as a typical spring day across central Texas escalated into a full-scale weather emergency that stretched from San Antonio to Austin, leaving destruction and disarray in its wake. Shortly after nightfall, the first wave of storms hit San Antonio. Heavy clouds rolled in fast, blotting out the stars and swallowing the skyline in a curtain of darkness. Then came the rain, relentless, unyielding, pounding the city with such intensity that within minutes, roads turned into rivers. Along the I-35 corridor, traffic ground to a halt as vehicles struggled through rising waters. Some drivers abandoned their cars altogether. Others, hoping to make it home, quickly found themselves surrounded by floodwaters with nowhere to go. Emergency services were stretched thin. The San Antonio Fire Department sprang into action, executing at least 8 water rescues overnight. Crews navigated through submerged intersections, chest-deep water, and low visibility conditions. Firefighters used ropes, inflatable rafts, and ladder trucks to reach those stranded. In some areas, time was critical, as water levels rose at an alarming rate. Thankfully, no fatalities or serious injuries were reported. But for those who had to be pulled from the brink, the night will not be forgotten. With morning commuters hitting the roads, a second round of severe thunderstorms swept through the capital city. These storms were stronger, more organized, and moving quickly. Doppler radar lit up with deep red cores, indicators of extremely heavy rainfall, high winds, and intense lightning strikes. The rain came in torrents, overwhelming the city's drainage systems. In a matter of minutes, parking lots, creeks, and underpasses filled with water. The Austin Fire Department reported over a dozen water rescues in a span of just a few hours. Most involved people trapped inside their cars, unaware of just how deep the water had become, until it was too late. In some cases, residents were caught off guard while walking their pets or running errands. Normal routine suddenly disrupted by a rising tide of water with nowhere to go. As responders worked tirelessly to extract people from flooded streets and buildings, a second hazard emerged: widespread power outages. Winds gusting over 60 miles per hour began snapping tree limbs like twigs. Trees came crashing down on homes, across roads, and into power lines, leaving entire neighborhoods in the dark.
A little bigger.
Austin Energy's grid was hammered by the storm. Electrical equipment was damaged across the city. Transformers exploded with blue flashes, and downed lines sparked along the wet pavement. At the peak of the crisis, nearly 60,000 customers were without electricity. For some, that meant no lights, no heat, and no way to charge phones or call for help. Austin Energy crews are working around the clock to assess damage and restore power, read a citywide alert. We've activated emergency response procedures, and every available crew is in the field. Please be patient and avoid any downed lines. Stay indoors and stay safe. But the fury of the storm didn't stop there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is the worst storm I have ever seen. Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus, God. Oh, Jesus.
Structural damage began to appear in unexpected places. In downtown Austin, fierce winds shattered a glass panel in the Texas state capitol, allowing rain to pour into one of the most secure government buildings in the state. Water pooled across the floor as staff scrambled to protect equipment and archives. On social media, photos and videos of the broken Capitol window went viral, showing that not even government infrastructure was safe from the storm's wrath. Elsewhere in the city, the damage was more personal. In North Austin, a gas station canopy on Greystone Drive collapsed entirely, crushing a car parked below it. Fortunately, no one was inside the vehicle at the time, but the incident underscored the unpredictability and danger of the winds that had swept through. Schools were forced to close. Flights were delayed or canceled at Austin Bergstrom International Airport. Businesses shuttered for the day, and residents huddled indoors, waiting for the skies to clear. Meteorologists warned that the system responsible for this destruction was not yet finished. While the worst of the thunderstorm had moved through, lingering instability in the atmosphere meant more rain was possible through the end of the week. Flash flood watches remained in effect, and saturated ground across central Texas meant that even light rainfall could quickly lead to renewed flooding.
No, go sit on the couch, please. What, honey?
I will ask you something.
No, ask me from the couch, baby.
The National Weather Service repeated one critical warning: turn around, don't drown. It's a phrase every Texan knows by heart, but one too often ignored. Just 6 inches of fast-moving water can knock an adult off their feet. A single foot of floodwater can carry away an entire car. And in this week's storm, both of those realities were on full display. For many, this storm was a wake-up call. It revealed just how vulnerable even the biggest cities in Texas remain to the forces of nature. Despite the emergency response, despite the warnings, despite the precautions, flash flooding remains the deadliest weather hazard in the country. And this week, it came dangerously close to claiming more lives.
And my car's right out there. Gotta love it.
A tree doing a 50 leap.
In the aftermath, cleanup crews began clearing debris. Utility workers replaced downed lines and poles. Firefighters debriefed after back-to-back rescues. And residents, some still without power, took stock of their losses. Tree limbs through windows, cars waterlogged and totaled, basements flooded, roads torn apart by the surge. But through it all, one thing remained clear: the resilience of Texans. Neighbors helped neighbors. First responders risked their lives for others. Volunteers handed out food and water. And even as the skies darkened once again, communities across San Antonio and Austin prepared to face whatever came next. This wasn't just a storm. It was a test of endurance, preparedness, and unity. And for now, Central Texas stands strong in its aftermath, waiting, watching, and ready for the next round.
I kind of understand why everybody's coming here. It's illegal.
Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.